Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Rita Eno, coming to you live from New York. Let's take a look at the headlines. Vice President Shettima orders disbursement of federal government's 250 billion naira loan for smallholder farmers. British High Commission applauds Governor Umar Eno on infrastructural development investments in tourism. And on the foreign scene, NATO strengthens defenses after Russian drones shot down over Poland. Good morning and many thanks for staying tuned. We'll begin this news this morning from the national scene where Vice President Shettima has directed the Presidential Food Systems Coordinating Unit, PFSCU, to expedite action on the disbursement of the federal government's 250 billion naira credit support for smallholder farmers at a single-digit interest rate. Shettima, who gave the directive during the 6th meeting of the PFSCU Steering Committee held in Abuja, directed for an implementation roadmap for the disbursement of funds, stating that it is necessary to avoid further delays and ensure that the target beneficiaries of the initiative were reached. The Vice President commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for granting the PFSCU the political backing to act boldly on priority reforms, notably the fertilizer raw material liberalization and the Presidential Seed Fund. Shettima also called for improved collaboration among stakeholders to revitalize the seed sector and expand the strategic grain reserve through the ongoing initiative of the federal government. Away from that, the federal government has announced the implementation of the 2025 national budget, and it will commence by the end of September. As the execution of the 2024 budget winds down, the disclosure which was made by the Director General DG of the Budget Office of the Federation, Taminu Yakubu, at the third quarter Ministerial Stakeholders and Citizens Engagement Forum in Abuja, noted that the 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget is designed to stimulate economic growth, enhance public services, and drive investments in key sectors, stressing that effective implementation and prudent fiscal management will be critical to its success. He also emphasized that the importance of citizens' involvement, describing Nigerians as the ultimate owners of public resources. He listed initiatives such as translating budget documents into local languages, simplifying budget content, and empowering communities to hold the government accountable. The DG outlined strategies to support Nigeria's ambition of becoming a $1 trillion economy by 2030, including ward-based development programs across 8,809 wards, tax reforms, stronger fiscal discipline, and innovation partnerships. And in the meantime, the federal government has inaugurated the governing councils and principal officers of 4 newly established federal universities. The Education Minister Tunji Alausa, who inaugurated the governing councils, reaffirmed the commitment of the government to expanding access to higher quality education. The universities are the Federal University of Agriculture and Technology, Okeho, Oyo State, and the Federal University of Health Sciences and Technology, Safi, Zamfara State, amongst others. Alausa described the establishment of the universities as a strategic intervention by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. The minister explained that the move was aimed at addressing pressing national challenges such as food security, public health, climate change, renewable energy, and technological innovation. Meanwhile, the federal government has insisted that secondary schools must ensure that their teachers have proper certification, or the schools will no longer be allowed to serve as examination centers. The new directive, which was contained in a memo issued by the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, to the Registrar Chief Executive of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, stated that the directive is in line with the government's policy to strengthen professionalism in the teaching profession. Alausa further said that from 2027, accreditation of both public and private secondary schools for the conduct of public examinations, including WASE, NAPTEC, NECO, and MBIAS, would be strictly tied to the teacher's TRCN certification. He also indicated in the memo that state governments are requested to take due cognizance of the directive, urging them to put in place necessary measures to ensure compliance by all teachers in state-owned secondary schools and private secondary schools within the stipulated 2 years from the date of the policy directive. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has said that 14 associations have been cleared to proceed to the next stage of the applications to be registered as political parties in Nigeria. The National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, who disclosed this after the Commission's meeting, said that 171 applications were received. He further explained that each request was assessed on the basis of its prima facie compliance with the provisions of the Section 222 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, Section 79, subsection 1, 2, and 4 of the Electoral Act 2022, and Clause 2, 1, and 2 of the Commission's Regulations and Guidelines for Political Parties 2022. The association cleared are the African Transformation Party (ATP), the All Democratic Alliance (ADA), Advanced Nigeria Congress (ANC), the Abundant Social Party (ASP), African Alliance Party (AAP), Citizens Democratic Alliance (CDA), and the Democratic Leadership Alliance (DLA). Other are the Grassroots Initiative Party (GRIP), Green Future Party (GFP), the Liberation People's Party (LPP), the National Democratic Party (NDP), the National Reform Party (NRP), the Patriotic People's Alliance (PPA), and the People's Freedom Party (PFP). And back here, the British Deputy High Commissioner, Lagos, Johnny Baxter, has applauded the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Pastor Moino, for his remarkable, visionary and impactful leadership as anchored by the Arise agenda. Speaking during a courtesy visit on Governor Moino at the Government House, Uyo, Johnny Baxter said he was really impressed by the friendly ambience of the state, adding that the infrastructure, especially road network, were pointers to quality leadership. He particularly expressed satisfaction with the exceptional service delivery by the state-owned airline, Ibom Air, and described it as one of the best airlines in this part of the world. He further said that Ibom Air was a major avenue to boost the rich tourism and hospitality potentials of the state, adding that the state also has a huge potential in agriculture, given its green and lush environment. Meanwhile, receiving Baxter and his team, Governor Ino commended the delegation, acknowledging Nigeria's age-long historical relationship with the United Kingdom and its diverse humanitarian programs. He disclosed that the state government had in recent past sponsored students from the state for strategic educational tour to the United Kingdom to enrich their knowledge and expose them to a different learning environment. According to Governor Moino, the idea was to make them see the limitless possibilities in life, to underscore the fact that places of their birth cannot limit them if they are focused on learning and are disciplined enough. The governor revealed that the state is developing its economic zones, including the Liberty Oil and Gas Free Trade Zones, Ibom Industrial City, and Itam Industrial Park in Uyo. Governor Ino further highlighted projects planned to be kick-started by the state to include the Tree Crop Revolution, Ikotekwene International Market and Rural Electrification Project, amongst others. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that Baxter, who was impressed by the governor's achievement within 2 years, as captured by a brief documentary presentation, therefore took a tour of some facilities of the state government, especially the Arise Resort, and he expressed satisfaction with the project transformed from a 70-hectare erosion ravine disaster. And in the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has expressed delight over the exploits of Akwa Ibom indigents in their different fields of endeavor across the world. Governor Moino registered his delight while interacting with Government House correspondents at the Victor Atta International Airport upon his return from the United Kingdom, where he met the British-based boxer of Akwa Ibom heritage, Moses Utauma, and Mayor of Islington, Jason Ututofon. Governor Ino stated that in the course of his trip, he met with 2 illustrious sons of the state and expressed the good wishes of Akwa Ibom people on their spectacular exploits. He described them as role models whose successes are worthy of emulation by other Akwa Ibom youths. The governor encouraged the youths to imbibe the true Akwa Ibom spirit and to desist from harboring a sense of entitlement, but to uphold the virtue of hard work, dedication, sacrifice, and commitment in their pursuit of excellence. Meanwhile, the governor also explained that the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, he earlier signed with the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, regarding the state rural electrification project would guarantee 24-hour power supply in the state. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that Governor Ino, who signed the MOU during the Rural Electrification Roundtable organized by the REA, which he attended in FCT Abuja shortly after his arrival from the UK, added that the State Electricity Power Summit scheduled for September 18th and 19th will be held in collaboration And now to Africa, where South Sudan First Vice President Riek Machar has faced charges of treason and other serious crimes as fears grow that the East African country could be edging towards a return to civil war. The local justice authorities said Machar had been under house arrest since March after the transitional government he is a part of accused him of subversive activities against President Salva Kiir. In addition to treason, Machar and 7 others faces charges of murder, conspiracy, terrorism, destruction of public property and military assets, and crimes against humanity. The charges stem from a violent incident in March when a militia known as the White Army overran a garrison of government troops, killing its commanding officer and others. The Justice Ministry said in a statement that the attack in Nasir, Upper Nile State was influenced by Machar and others via coordinated military and political structures. And still to come in the news. Super Eagles, Venezuela to clash in friendly match November 14th. Stay tuned for details of this in a moment. And many thanks for staying tuned. We'll take you through the rest of the news stories. On our business news, barely 48 hours after the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, suspended its strike action, the union has alleged that the management of the Dangote refinery had reneged on the resolutions reached. In a statement jointly signed by its President and General Secretary Williams Aporeha and Afolabi Olawale, respectively, NUPENG warned that it might resume the suspended industrial action following a breach of the agreement reached between Dangote Refinery, the federal government and all truck drivers who were members of the NUPENG PTD. The union claimed that after a meeting convened by the Department of State Services and attended by the Minister of Finance Wale Edun and representatives of the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC, the management of Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals agreed to the unionization of its employees. It further stated that, notwithstanding the resolution reached and signed at the office of the DSS with the three on the right of the unionization of the workers, truck drivers who were NUPENG PTD members for several years were ordered to remove the union stickers from their trucks yesterday. Meanwhile, the Dangote refinery will start the free fuel distribution scheme on Monday. The Dangote Group spokesman Anthony Chiegina said in a statement that the scheme would start with the Southwest, the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Kwara, Delta, Rivers and Edo states. He added that the refinery has also dropped petrol retail prices to 841 naira per litre in Lagos and the Southwest and 851 naira per litre in Abuja, Edo, Kwara, Rivers and Delta states. Recall that the free fuel distribution scheme was supposed to have started in August but was delayed due to logistics challenges in China. In health, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has urged residents to take ownership of malaria prevention by eliminating mosquito breeding sites, testing before treatment, and trusting the health system. Sanwo-Olu reaffirmed his administration's commitment to reducing malaria prevalence below 1% as the state intensifies efforts to achieve full malaria elimination. Speaking at the midterm review meeting of the Impact Project and the Pathway to Malaria Pre-Elimination and Digitalization Program, the governor stressed the importance of accountability, data transparency, and community ownership in the ongoing campaign. He noted that community participation alongside collaboration between the government and the private sector will ensure that malaria ceases to be a major public health problem in Lagos. And now to sportswear. The Super Eagles will face Venezuela in a friendly match November 14th. The encounter would hold at the Shell Energy Stadium in Austin, Texas, US. Nigeria last played at the venue on May 31, 2013, when they battled to a 2-2 draw with Mexico in a friendly. Recall that the Super Eagles defeated La Vinotinto 3-1 the last time both teams met in a friendly on November 14, 2012. And still in sports, Manchester United have announced Andre Onana's loan move to Turkish Super League club Trabzonspor. The Red Devils made the announcement in a statement yesterday. The 29-year-old Cameroon international has made 102 appearances for the Reds since signing from Italian giants Inter in July 2023. On our entertainment news, Afrobeat singer Adekunle Gold has announced the release of his 6th studio album. The Coco Money hitmaker in a recent post on X said that the upcoming album marks a new chapter in his life and career. Reflecting his journey lessons learned and experiences, he further added that the album has been 5 years in the making and promises to be one of his greatest works yet. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been listening to Spectrum News at 10. I am Rita Inung. Enjoy the rest of your day.